would partake at times when we felt it was appropriate for us.
Well, here's a question for Gene that, because I was a square before my first time, too, and a lot of my friends pretty much just thought I had lost it all after. Did you have any reaction from your friends, or did you even tell them yours?
Oh, no, I did not advertise, but we did. We were able to have our children involved in the MDMA business, and they knew what we were doing. But no, I couldn't talk about it with anyone. It wasn't something you would talk to someone about unless you knew them intimately.
Yeah.
Because it's very profound, what the stuff that comes up and the stuff that you realize you have to handle and how you're running your life.
Did any of your former friends ever gravitate to the psychedelic lifestyle at all? Your personal friends that you had before you met Myron?
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't believe so. We had a group around the Menlo Park area, and we were, maybe there were 6 or 8 of us. Mm-hmm. And we knew each other, and we stayed in that group mostly. But so we didn't have any other friends.
How about you, Myron? Did other people at Ampex get involved in LSD? Or was it just you? Or did the president really get involved in it?
The president met Al Hubbard and agreed to have an experience with him. But on the day that he was to do it, he changed his mind. So he never did. And he ended up never taking it.
Did you have any people at Menlo Park that went through the preparation and got close and then backed out that when they got there?
Well, we had 350 people go through over 3.5 years. And I'd say by a large majority that most of them felt that they had been benefited quite a bit. I had a lot of friends in Ampex where I worked, and a number of them were interested in what I was doing, and several of them came and participated. And almost all of them felt that they had been quite benefited. They learned how to get along better with their wives and their kids and stuff like that. And it wasn't a big number, but it was quite satisfying to us to know that we had some of these people who thought enough of what we were doing that they would come and participate.
Were you doing meditation before you started doing LSD, or when did meditation come into your life?
There was a group in Palo Alto that were very deeply into spirituality. Harry Rathman was an attorney, and he taught that at Stanford University. And he was very, very popular, a very lovable person. And at the end of each year, he would have a real large room, and people could come and sort of get some really good experience about the possibilities of life and so on. And it got to be a favor that the school got really used to, so that every year people would flood in to just hear him at their last program. Anyway, he and his wife were really, really very good at introducing people to spirituality, and I joined them, and I was part of that group for a long time, and found it very helpful. That's where I learned a lot about meditation and did a lot of personal practice with meditation. And so that was a really good association. And when Hubbard came along, I introduced them to them, and nobody liked him. And some of them wanted to take off and work with LSD on their own, and they didn't know shit. So I was very disappointed. They wanted to go, here, Hubbard knew all of this stuff backwards and forwards and everything, but they wanted to go ahead and do it their own way, and I couldn't take that. I said goodbye to them.
Was that part of the Sequoia seminar group that split off?
My remembering of your story about the Sequoia seminar was that you were totally enthralled with it, and you were taught the teachings of Jesus, and you were in a state of shock when they told you that you have to read this book about the true teachings of Jesus. But I thought you were enthralled with it. I didn't realize that you broke off with that group.
Yeah. I was involved with this group for quite a number of years. Mm-hmm. Now, the first part, as what you're talking about, well, I'll tell you this. It may not be of much interest, but at least you'll have it if you want it. I had a neighbor who lived very close to me, and we both worked together at Ampex. And he had heard a little bit about Rathbun. And Rathbun was giving a series of talks, and he said, Myron, why don't you come with me? So I said, okay. And so I listened to him, and Rathbun was a marvelous teacher and a marvelous instructor, and I really liked everything he said, and I think we went for several weeks in a row. And then toward the end, it turned out that I'm really a little dim on. I knew it was really important what he was saying, and I was really glad I was going. But then all of a sudden he threw in this thing about spirituality and Christ, and I immediately felt I'd been screwed. So
bait and switch.
But a few months went by, and they began having local gatherings. So I thought, what the hell, I'll go. And so I went, and Rathbun was leading the group, and I sort of got pulled in and began to enjoy it more. And an awful lot of wisdom came from a person whose name that I don't remember. The Rathbuns were very, very close to him, and they felt this particular man had spent 30 years of his life to find the real truth about Christ and what was really important and what was sort of made up by people. And so that what you finally got out of it was very, very sound information. And I really enjoyed that. So in spite of being Jewish, I belonged to that group, and I stayed with them for a long time. And I became actually part of the leadership group.
Sharman.
So that went on for quite a while.
Sharman?
Sharman was the one that had set all that up. Good for you, too. You have a good memory.
Real book, yeah.
Then when Hubbard came into the picture, none of those people, well, I think I already said this, none of those people really cared for him.
Was he like boisterous, or what was it that?
Yeah, they felt he was too cocky, and I'm not sure what the problem was, because I was having a great time with him. But I think I already covered that some of the people decided they would try to work with LSD. And I felt they didn't know what they were doing or how to do it, and they didn't want to follow Hubbard. And Hubbard's the one that really knew all about it.
Right.
So I departed from that group. And we did have a group. There were 2 or 3 people there, but I began meeting once a week. We had people come together. And then we reached the point where one person who volunteered would take LSD, and this was mostly done at our home, and it was done in the evening, and they would take it, and the rest